I'm Coco, and I have ideas. So, around here, we talk about systems of supremacy, how we're encultured into them, conditioned by them, so that we can rip those gnarly roots out of our hearts, souls, and mindsets and affect better change out in the world. I hate systems of supremacy. I hope you do too. So thank you for being here. Today we're going to continue our chat about patriarchy. So, patriarchy. It is the first and worst. It is the foundational system of supremacy that all others grow from. It happened first, all others grow from patriarchy. All right? So patriarchy is the culture of male narcissism, right? Where men dominate women as a forms of production, right? Patriarchy is about male narcissism, where male is the standard of humanness and women are something less than, that must be put under the dominion of men. Men must own women and use them as a private, for-profit means of production. Okay? That's what patriarchy is. All right? Just as a system of power, it is the private, for-profit ownership of women as the original means of production. And so I mean that both literally in terms of like childbirth, child rearing, right? The creation of life, but also in terms of meeting all human needs. Patriarchy says that women are exclusively responsible for all labor, effort, and knowledge that goes into meeting all human needs, all of them, right? Child rearing, sure, but also everything that goes into nourishing the household, right? All cooking, back in the day, foraging for it, whatnot, but all cooking, cleaning, mending, creating clothes, nurturing and educating young children, elderly care, care for the sick, all of that. That is all women's work, and they are not to be compensated because women are subhuman and they are owned and under the dominion of the patriarch. He owns the woman, right? Like he would own mines, right? So capitalism is really the material extension of patriarchy. Patriarchy happened first, right? So capitalism says it's the system where there's a private for-profit ownership of means of production, like mines, factories, whatnot, right? That one person owns it or a group of people own it for profit and operate it as they see fit. That is just what men did to women first. Enslaved women first and said, I own you. Your job, the whole reason you exist is to meet my sexual pleasures, raise my children, right? I own you, don't be with anyone else. I can be with anyone, but you are my private means of production. And then you do all work related to meeting human needs, freeing him up, and then men leave the house to go create a public sphere, society, economy, all of that jazz, with the understanding that men are the default human, and every man is entitled to own a woman to meet all of his needs privately. It's the privatization of meeting human needs, right? You privately own the woman. You purchase her from her father when she's, 11 to 14 years old. You purchase that's what they called marriage. You purchase her from her father, and then you have exclusive rights for mating and labor. And that frees men up. They don't have to cooperate in meeting human needs with women. They no longer have to they don't have to cultivate character development, emotional maturity, like things that would be necessary if you functioned in cooperation with women or anyone, right? The basic life skills and maturity necessary to act cooperatively. Patriarchy's like, no, you don't need any of that. No. There's no standard for being a man. Just that you get the money together to be able to buy the woman, to purchase her from her father. You need to make sure that you're, able to do that. So I think that's really how it started. It's not great. So I think it's just really important to understand that is the roots of patriarchy, and also the roots of like all of Western civilization, right? Because all of it, like over thousands of years, was developed under patriarchy. So that's why, like, in most democracies, right, it was only white landowning males that could vote. Because that's the only human deserving of representation, right? The supremes. But all economies, all social structures, they were all designed under the assumption that any man, you know, worthy of being considered by the society owned a woman at home to privately meet all human needs of the household. So no social structures were designed with the mandate to work in cooperation to meet human needs. It was all about, you know, status games for patriarchal men. Yeah, and we're still living that out. We're still living that out. You know, we made some strides, but that's why we're also seeing backlash. And so is this artificial exclusion of women from all social realms, those are only for men, force them to do free labor for all the necessary work of life. Women have to do that freely, and there's to be no recognition of it, no compensation, and men extract that. That is the base that they need to be able to participate in status games with other men exclusively, right? It's not great. But I think it's really important to understand that because now we're seeing a lot of patriarchal backlash, right? Think about it. It was 50 years ago this year, 1974, when women gained the right to own a bank account, to be able to go in as an individual woman to a bank and be like, I am opening a checking account. I am applying for a loan. 1973, she would have needed her father or husband to come in with her. 1974, they passed, forget the name of the act, I'll put it in the description. And suddenly women have earned the right, retrieved the right, the human right to economic, having their own bank account, economic independence. So that was only 50 years ago. Like, baby boomers were all alive by then. So the baby boomers' lifetime, like, that's a lot of social change. Yeah, but see, so now we're seeing, I am so grateful to be born when I was born. Like, being a 90s baby was great, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I would never time travel. I'm like, oh, God, why would you want to, Anyway, just haunting. But yeah, so now women can choose, have the economic option, right? Of if you don't want to get married, you can work and remain single, right? Wonderful. But the issue is men have never, not in thousands of years at least, had to meet any standards to earn a wife. Like, no, truly. No standards of maturity, personality, like care. Maybe like on the higher levels, it was all economic transactions, really, right? So there's never, like, women couldn't say no to marriage, right? So the playing field was always in their favor. And now women are like, ew, dude, you are a drain on me. Like, we're seeing it so blatantly. Women working full time and then entering partnerships with men, and men refusing to participate in their own households and contributing to directly meeting needs, cooking, cleaning, yada yada, parenting. They never had to do any of that before. And they're real effing petulant about it now, because it's like, patriarchy is this culture of male narcissism, right? Where they truly can't understand mutuality, cooperation. Some can, sure, but if you are a patriarchal man, you absolutely can't, because in his mind, he's the real one. You come under his dominion. He profits from you, right? And so what we're seeing, right, with like JD Vance and some of this conservative backlash, where they're now openly talking about, like, well, what value do childless women have? Like, what, like the disdain, it's not towards childless men, it's childless women, right? Why, like, all the conservative, Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying that Kamala Harris doesn't have children to humble her. JD Vance and all this cat lady shit. Curtis Yarvin out there just being like, no, really, like, I like, if you don't have children, what is your purpose as a woman? So whenever you hear any of that, understand that what they're saying is, if you are a single childless woman, if you were child-free by choice as a woman and not serving a man, why do you exist? Like, that's like a factory sitting empty. To these guys, seriously, it is. It's like, there's this perfectly good factory. No one's there to own it, direct it, and make sure it's optimized to meet his needs for maximum production, maximum output. That's how these guys feel when they hear about childless women. You are a means of human production. You need to go have children, so then you have to take care of the kids, and by default, the man. He doesn't have any of these skills. Learning these skills is annoying. It's annoying. They're like routines every day. You have to have a maturity and patience about it. They don't pleasure me. Vacuuming doesn't pleasure me. That's women's work. You're that means of production. Why would you exist if you weren't serving a man and siring his children? That should be, I don't understand. It's like, you're leaving money on the table, babe. And it's like, I'm a full person. But it's the culture of male narcissism, where women are a tool, a means of production, an object to be used, sexual gratification for men, child rearing, endless free labor, right? And so when you see these conservatives coming out and like attacking childless women, it is because they're saying, no man is benefiting from you. How can you live like that? It's dark. It is that dark. So that's really what I want to raise the alarms about, right? And another part of it too. So it's outside of like the masculine identity of, I was born to put you under my dominion. It is my birthright as a man to own you and harvest from you. Get out of here with these standards of care. I don't want to get to know you. You are a tool, an object for my pleasure, my needs. Why would I even think to ask you about your hobby? Like, it doesn't matter. Are you cooking for me or not? Like that whole attitude, right? It's, sorry, I just lost my train of thought for a sec. Yeah, it's really bad, but that is all true. And the other side of it is like, these patriarchal men understand that society was not built, like economies were not built to meet human needs or to compensate women for their work in the home. And they're like, yeah, you need to go back to doing that free labor. Like, it's not, they're really anti the idea of compensating or valuing women for meeting human needs. Because in their mind, that is why you exist. You are a tool to meet men's needs, to serve humanity without having any needs of yourself. I have no standards as a man to meet towards a woman. I only have status goals of competition with other men, right? It's a male narcissism, male narcissism, male narcissism. You are a tool. Yeah, so I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Let me just scan my notes really quick to make sure. Oh, that's where I was going, sorry. Do my best, man. So yeah, so it's all the fantasy of supremacy, right? That's like what patriarchy is. It's male narcissism, and narcissism is fundamentally a fantasy, right? I am innately superior. You are innately inferior. You must serve my needs. Like, you're an appendage to me. I get to control you, to tell you what to do. I get to harvest, because I am innately superior. It's not based on character. It's not based on skills. It's not based on intellect. There is no standard for men to meet, because it's that narcissistic fantasy of superiority. And it is a fantasy, right? So to maintain the fantasy of superiority that they're trying to force women into playing out back for them, right? Because that's how narcissists function, is projecting that fantasy outward and trying to force people into playing out the role, to be manipulated or seduced into fulfilling the role of his desires and what he seeks to extract, right? That's how narcissists work. That's how patriarchy works. So maintain the fantasy, you must either seduce or violently force women into playing out the fantasy back to them. So that's why we're seeing like a big rise with the tribe wife content, right? And that's absolutely sponsored. Like, I'm sure some women are actually doing it, but like, there's a lot that are like highly encouraged, if not sponsored, right? But the tribe wife content is to seduce women. Look how aesthetically pleasing and chill, being on duty 24/7, having 8 kids with no medicine, blah, 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 blah. It's trying to seduce women in with these visually enticing, you know, and a lot of them are really aesthetically beautiful videos. It's about enticing them to choose this role, choose to be the means of production, the disposable means of production. So if he doesn't want you anymore, you get too old, you get too mouthy. Patriarchy's all like, throw her out, disposable. What do you do with the tool that doesn't work anymore? You throw it out and get a new one, right? Because only men are human. But yeah, the violence, it's not great. So that's why we really need to vote against all conservatives that speak from patriarchal points of view. However, they try and, you know, tie it up in something nice that's just trying to seduce women into becoming tools for men. And we just got to be careful about the violent backlash. Like that, this is what's motivating the, you know, rescinding abortion rights, rescinding women's ability to access health care, right? The efforts to disenfranchise women. Like all of these political efforts, it's all about maintaining patriarchy. And patriarchy is the private, for-profit ownership of women. Yeah, so let's wrap it up there. My name is Coco. I talk about all of these ideas over on my Substack, powerculturecoco.substack.com. And I'm on TikTok at Coco Has Ideas. Please like and subscribe for more. Yeah, I'm really grateful to talk to you guys about all of this. And let me know what you think in the comments. If any of this resonated, if you want to hear more about any of the ideas that I'm spewing out. If I'm talking too fast, let me know. I get a little nervous. But yeah, thank you so much. And we'll have another video up in a couple of days. So like and subscribe for more.